Welcome back to the channel, folks. I'm your host, Lawrence, over at Mighty Comics and Collectibles, and today, of course, is the Hot 10 Comics of the Week breakdown. Now, if you're new to my channel, what I do in this one is I take the 10 hottest comics according to the Key Collector app, and I break them down for you guys, letting you know which books I'm buying at which prices, and of course, which I'm staying away from. Now, before we get started, before every video, I remind you guys, if you're not a current sub of the channel, do yourself a favor, hit that sub button for yourself. You will not regret it, and do me a solid, hit that like button, because it does help the channel out. One more message. I think every Friday I've been putting out a podcast called the Mighty Rewind Podcast. Make sure you guys check it out on this channel, but also on its own channel. Eventually, it's only going to be on that other channel. Now, with that said, let's get into this week's breakdown. Starting it off this week at number 10 is Uncanny X-Men number 94, the second team appearance of the new X-Men team. There were 5 sales that broke the average this week, with the high being a CGC 8.0, selling for $950, up 18% over the average. Next up, a 7.0 sale for $600, up 6% over the average, and a 4.5 selling for $835 and up 17% over the average. For some reason this week, the Key Collector app did not tell me how many times in 2025 these books have appeared, but with that said, it's definitely been on this list quite a few times already in 2025. Do I want to own this book? I would say yes. Told you guys this before. It's going to be X-Men number 1 from the Silver Age, Giant Size X-Men number 1, and then X-Men 94. Of course, I would like to own some of the other key issues from the X-Men run, but outside of that, the rest to me is just great storyline and run filler. Back on the list at number 9 this week is Green Lantern number 59 and the first appearance of Guy Gardner. Another 5 sales broke the average this week, with a high sale and a CGC 8.0 selling for $620, up 3% over the average. Next up, a CGC 7.0 sale for only $499, but up 16% over the average. And lastly, a CGC 5.0 selling for $258, up 2% over the average. This book has been on and off the list ever since we got the trailer for Superman. Do I want to own this book? I'm not a huge Green Lantern guy, but I will say this. I don't think it's relatively expensive if you want to own this book, although is now the right time. With Superman in theaters right now and everybody seems to love Guy Gardner, the character, I say wait for this movie to kind of settle down a little bit, and then if you still want to own the book, do yourself a favor, go ahead and buy it. At number 8, finally a new book to this list. It is Iron Man and Submariner number 1. This standalone issue bridged Tales to Suspense and Tales to Astonish to Iron Man number 1 and Submariner number 1. Another 5 sales broke the average this week, with a high sale in a CGC 9.6 selling for $2,100, up 4% over the average. Next up, a CGC 7.5 sale for only $225, up 5% over the average. And lastly, a CGC 4.0 selling for only $90, up 14% over the average. For me, guys, I gotta say this, I'd rather own Submariner number 1 and Iron Man number 1. To me, those are the better issues. Those are the keys that I'd rather own over this book. Why don't we talk some Spidey? At number 7 this week is Amazing Spider-Man number 100 and this iconic cover by the great John Romita Sr., my favorite artist. Last week we had 4 sales break the average, the high sale being in a CGC 9.6, selling for $1,680 and up a crazy 28% over that average. Next up, a CGC 9.0 sale for $420, up 2% over the average. And lastly, a CGC 6.5 selling for only $190, up 12% over the average. This is the first time I can guarantee that this book has been on the list in 2025. For me, guys, do I want to own the book? Yes, and I do. But I bought this book way back when, and I think I paid under $100 for it. So I would say yes, if you're a Spidey fan and you want to own the book, or even if you love classic covers, it's definitely worth a pickup. Just buy your copy for the price that you want to own for the long term. Now back to the regulars on this list. At number 6 is Fantastic Four number 49 and the first full appearance of Galactus. 6 copies broke the average this week, with the highest being a CGC 7.5 selling for $1,400, up 2% over the average. Then we had a CGC 7.0 sale, selling for $1,200, up 2% over the average. And finally, a CGC 5.0, selling for $620, up 8% over the average. Again, another movie that is about to come out this week. Do I want to own the book for the long term? 100%, but is now the right time? I say no. Wait for the movie to come out. Let's see what happens with this book, because I have a hunch it's going to go right back down. Even though I don't think it's going to go down tremendously, I still want to get the best deal possible when buying this book. Let's head to the Bronze Age. At number 5 is some more X-Men. Uncanny X-Men number 101. The debut of new powers as Jean Grey is reborn as the Phoenix. A whopping 6 sales exceeded the average this week, with a high being a CGC 9.6, selling for $1,440, up 3% over the average. Then we had a CGC 8.5 sale for only $525, again up 2% over the average. And finally, a CGC 6.5 selling for only $345, up 9% over the average. For me, yes, I want to own this book, guys, and I want to own it in high grade. A lot of copies out there. I always tell you that Bronze Age keys I always want to own in the higher grades. Seems to be a lot of them out there, so the higher the better, but I don't want to break the bank over this one. I say $500, $600, up to $700, $750 for the really high grades if you want. Other than that, I'd probably be staying away. Back to Silver Age. At number 4 this week is Silver Surfer number 3 and the first appearance of Mephisto. I am shocked it's taken this long for this book to get back on this list. A whopping 8 copies outsold the average this week, with a high sale in a CGC 8.0 selling for $855, up 15% over the average. Next up, a CGC 7.0 sale for $660, get this, up 33% over the average. And finally, a CGC 6.0 selling for $445, up again 21% over the average. Remember a few years ago when this book absolutely went nuts, went bananas, people were scooping it up left and right and paying high dollar amounts. It's starting to happen again, although not as bad. Do I want to own the book for the long term? Yes, but we all saw Mephisto show up in the Ironheart series, so now everybody is speculating on what he's going to appear in next. Wait for this book to cool down if you want to own it. Other than that, I'd definitely be staying away right here. Rounding out the 3 spot is the hottest book on the market. It is Amazing Spider-Man number 129 and the first appearance of the Punisher, Frank Castle. Of course, is an iconic cover by the great John Romita Sr. 7 copies beat the average this week, with a high sale and a CGC 9.2 selling for $3,100, up 8% over the average. Next up, a CGC 9.0 sale for $2,900, up 14% over the average. And lastly, a CGC 8.0 selling for $1,900, up 4% over the average. This book has made the list for the 22nd time in 2025. You guys know it's absolutely one of my favorite books out there, a top 10 Bronze Age key. I definitely want to own this book, but again, make sure that you're buying the best copy you can for your collection for the long term, because there are a ton of copies out there. After a little hiatus, at number 2 this week is Star Wars number 1 and the first appearance of most of the OG Star Wars characters, and an insane 12 copies outsold the average this week, with a high sale at the top, a CGC 9.8 selling for $3,088, up 7% over the average. Next up, a CGC 9.6 sale of $800, only up 1% over the average. And finally, a 9.0 sale selling for $340, up 3% over the average. I say it all the time. We see this book on this list. If you're a big Star Wars fan, I think it's a must-own book. If you're not, I say, why are you spending this kind of money on this book? It is not worth it. But for me, I am a Star Wars fan. I'm just not a crazy one. So a 9.0 or so for $300 sounds like a pretty good deal to me. Finally, at the top spot this week, a big one. It is Giant Size X-Men number 1, the first appearance of the new X-Men team. 7 copies outsold the average this week, with a high sale and a CGC 7.5 selling for $2,425, up 2% over the average. Next up, a CGC 6.5 sale for $1,850, flat against the average. And lastly, a CGC 5.0 selling for $1,500, but only up 1% over the average. Again, this book falls into the top 10 Bronze Age keys that I want to own for the long term, and it might be the best. So 100% I do want to own the book, but I want to make sure this book is really white and has great colors before I spend this kind of money. Hope you guys enjoyed the list. Again, a lot of great books, but a lot of the same stuff that we have been seeing forever. So don't forget, the Key Collector puts these books on there because there are a lot of copies that have sold over the previous week, over the average. So keep that in mind, okay? It is now time for my best buy of the week, and it's between ASM number 129 and Giant Size X-Men number 1. Pick your poison here. I know I'm a Spidey fan, but I think Giant Size X-Men number 1 and high grade especially is a little bit tougher to find. So I'm going with that book over ASM 129, but either one works for me. Hope you guys enjoyed the list. This is Lawrence over at Mighty Comics Collectibles saying thank you for watching. Happy collecting. Make sure you guys are watching the podcast, and I'll talk to you guys soon.